Welcome back to the Rugby Oaks. It's me, Matt.
And me, George.
And we have just watched an absolute decimation of New Zealand. It was 43-10 at the end of the rugby match there. It's the highest score anyone's ever scored against New Zealand, home or away. Unreal performance in the second half.
Man.
First half was a little bit tricky. We went in to the Sheds 10-7 down, came back, denied them a point in the second half completely, and scored a bunch more. Welcome back, guys. We hope you joined us for our live stream with commentary. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But if you haven't, let's review the game to start off here, the first half. It was a shaky first half for the Boks. A lot of errors.
We started off well. Off the kickoff, attack. It looked really good. And then it swung like in pendulums. We then got them back in the game and us in the game.
The errors started from that. We had an amazing first kind of 90 to 100 seconds of the match. Got a penalty, went for the corner, overthrew the line out, and New Zealand got away with one there. Consistently from there, we had players in the ruck, hands on the ruck, was a top of eye, really getting in the face of Kobus Ranach, making him knock on. It was cynical play for that one. We crossed the line with Cheslin Colby, who then, an amazing try-saving tackle, I think it was Geordie Barrett, pipped it out of his hand across the line. That never happens. And then we all celebrated. We went across the line for RG Snyman, who came on to replace Lua Diaga early on, who was injured, very worrying. And that was called back for a little knock-on at the base of the ruck before that, so very, very unlucky. The tides turned then with New Zealand scoring the try. It was the debutant Leroy Carter had a hell of a game.
He did. I mean, his first half, I think he had like 50-odd metres gained and beat a couple of defenders and a try. So well played to the lad, experienced sevens player. So he knows what it's like on the big stage, I suppose, but it's different when you play 15s against the Springboks, who were wounded from last week. So, I mean, he did well. So fair play to the kid. But yeah, error strewn first half with the hand.
But it was the one opportunity the Kiwis had. What they did do well in the first half is they pulled deep. They were passing deep to go back. They were drawing in our rush defence and just getting around or over, which seems a little hole that we need to look at. But that obviously was their try. Then it was an interception from Cheslin Colby, 65 metres, foot race. No one's going to catch him from there. Absolutely unreal from the guy. And we went into the Sheds, as we said, 10-7. But the big problem that we had Kobus Ranach off for a head knock, so Grant Williams had come on. We had Sasha Feinberg Mngomezulu off for a head knock, so Mani Lebok was on. We also had Apalele Fassi go off at the end of the second half with an injury. He was in a boot in the second half on the try on the sideline. Excuse me. So very worrying signs going into the second half. But we galvanised, we pulled it together. Guys like Damian Willemse stood up. Guys like RG Snyman stood up. We had that try then by Cheslin Colby. Let's look at the stats then after that. So second half starts with a Cheslin. Oh, sorry. Let's go to second half with a Cheslin Colby try on the 43rd minute, converted by Mani Lebok. He only missed one out of his 5 kicks today.
Very good.
Or 4 kicks today. Mani Lebok also had a penalty goal to stretch the lead. That was on the 47th minute. Just building that pressure. We then had Damian Willemse, who it was a well-worked kind of getting us to the 5 metres, well-worked play. But Damian Willemse then caught the ball behind him.
Yeah, kind of just...
And then proceeds to run through 3 people, 10 metres, to get through to the try line. He was fired up.
He was very fired up, but he needed it. I think he knew that he needed to prove himself this week, and he bloody did. But to be fair, that whole back line stood up today. Ethan Hooker had a hell of a game. Can you imagine first ever start against New Zealand now? First ever time being in New Zealand. He played a hell of a game. Kanan Moody.
Hell of a game.
Flipping up. Brilliant. Estrazen came on. Brilliant game.
Yeah.
Obviously, Willemse was playing with Colby. Grant Williams came on at the slotted wing. Great game.
Yeah.
We just
set up a try.
It was beautiful. We just worked. It started to slot into place like pieces of Lego.
And the belief just built and built and built. And it was like we did the end of last year with the belief end of last game. The belief just built and built and built to a crossfield kick extravaganza. Mani Lebok over to Peter Steph du Toit taken down by Geordie Barrett, popped up to none other than Kwagga Smith over the try line. It started looking good, and we started feeling good. Then we had RG Snyman bust through the line. Again, it was back and forth. It never felt like New Zealand weren't coming at us, but it was back and forth. 73 minutes, and the game was all but over until the 79th minute. Andre Estes, and I believe it is his first international try, busting over the try line. So what were the key things that we did differently in the second half than we've done for the last probably 4 games that made us this powerhouse that you thought we were last year?
A lot of people have been complaining about Rusty making so many changes, and I put my hand up. I was one of them. So I would like to say it's all the changes that made the difference. No, there must have been a bit more belief after coming off the loss last week. We were looking good in the second half, so we were building. Yeah. So I think the boys came into this week knowing, right, we had them at some point in that second half, even though we were down 14-3 at half time.
Yeah.
So I think the difference was we had the belief, because going to Eden Park last week was all this big hype, and they made it all like fancy pants, and
then we got caught in the lines.
Yeah, big story. Never lost to Eden Park, blah blah blah, and they continue that. So well done to them. But we could have had them.
Oh.
And then we had them proper today. First half, not so much, fine. But somehow, as I just said a minute ago, the Lego blocks just connected and just boom, boom, boom. Stuff in the first half that was not going, balls were getting dropped and passes behind the back.
Just connecting.
It just worked.
That belief. You had in the second half, you had Marnus van der Nova, Jan-Henrik Wessels, Wilco Lowe coming on. The scrum throughout the whole game was I thought contested. We were pressured very well by the Springboks. We didn't get all the calls, but overall, if you look at it, we won kind of penalties of 75% of the scrums. Like it was a excuse me, penalty or I think we got one free kick, which was clearly their cynical.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
A little early shove from them. But yeah, they got one on against us as well. I think 1 or 2 penalties against us.
Yeah.
The scrum, off our scrum. So. Well, fair play to them. One was a bit dodgy, where their prop clearly elbow goes to the ground and turns in. But anyway,
I think it was a game littered with dodgy kind of attempts at dark arts by New Zealand, and they got away with most of them. And fair play. I mean, your number 5 to Pau Vai was just he was a menace, and you love to see it, but there was some cynical things that the TMO then saw and wasn't able to call back, which is unfortunate. But we PK'd them in the face, dude. 43-10.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's unreal. We live our entire lives as South Africans worrying about scores. And to go into the last 15 minutes going like, I think we've got this, we'll be fine. Yeah. Similar to the 2019 World Cup final where we just had that little break at the end there. But, guys, absolutely unbelievable match. Man of the match, you've got 2 options here. You've got Cheslin Kolbe, you've got Damian Willemse, I think.
I'm going to go Damian Willemse.
We're going to go Damian Willemse. Sorry about the coughing there, guys. But Damian Willemse ran all over town. He stepped out of phone booths left, right and centre. He was looking back to his best. And now we head off back to South Africa, a week off, then the RGs, then to London, then the RGs. And we're hoping, now that we're back number 1 in the world, I predict, and that, I mean, again, we're at this rugby championship. It's everyone's won 2, lost 2.
It's mad.
Phenomenal championship. That we can just get it at the end against Argentina. Hopefully that's the case. Guys, if you haven't liked, subscribed, commented, all the rest, please do. It helps us grow. We're really trying to push this. Join us next time as the Rugby Oaks, as we have a bit of fun. And I don't even know what to say. We won. We smashed them.
Okay.
Bye.